and it's also this weekend is our Rice Athletic Hall of Fame.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you guys for coming out again. First thing I want to do is congratulate the 4 individuals Chuck just referenced it, that we have our Hall of Fame induction on Friday night. And these are 4 people that have helped shape Rice University football program. They've helped us on and off the field, and they've been spectacular to me in my time here. Those 4 are Earl Cooper, Jeff Rose, Brett Wagner, and our current academic advisor, Julie Griswold, will be going in this Friday night. Talked to you guys, many of you, after the game last Saturday, and I was disappointed and really down about that game. Obviously, I wanted us to play better. I wanted these kids to get a win for all their hard work, all the things we talked about. Thought we had a great 2 weeks of prep going into it, and very simply, we didn't come out the other side like we wanted to. Took another team to Deepwater in this conference. Kids are fighting. Kids are doing some great things. From a 10,000-foot level, you can't turn the ball over in conference play, in college football, and win games. And what's amazing is even in spite of that, you know, the first half really should have been a blowout without those turnovers. The defense played so well and gave the offense a sudden change on the 1-yard line. Weren't able to take advantage of it. That's a huge play in the game. Even with that, and even with the pick six to start the second half, we have a chance. You know, we end up taking an 8-point lead in the third quarter. They tie it up. We go right down and kick a field goal. And then they only have one drive in the fourth quarter. They have the ball for 4 minutes. And unfortunately, they're able to put the ball in the box. And then we have plenty of time for our offense to take a drive, 5.5 minutes, 1 timeout, and we come up short. So right now, it's a common theme. You know, we're playing well enough to get there. We showed a lot of progress, the way these kids are fighting. The thing that we have to be able to do is our defense has got to find a way to slam the door shut on an opponent when we have the lead. I tell them every time at halftime when we have a lead at halftime, it's something Coach Bowden used to say every time. Defense, if they don't score, we win. And it's really simple. Then again, the offense gets an opportunity, and at some point we're going to have to quit waiting around and just find a way to kick the door open offensively and make the play that wins a game. Because I really believe that once we have the confidence, once we've done it a time or two, it's going to become a way of life. And I've mentioned it before. We've got 4 games now that have been a 1-score game. That's, again, great progress. We're in a zero-sum business. We need to win them. But I remember at Stanford in 2013, we had 8 one-score games, and I think we won them all and ended up in the Rose Bowl because of it. So it's a mindset. It's something that we stress in this program. It's something that, again, it's going to take a great individual effort, a great collective effort to get somebody to Deepwater and then find a way to win the ball game. The good news is these kids are working. They come back and they work. They're resilient. They're bright kids. They realize how close we are. And they come back to it, and they attack this thing the right way. I told them yesterday we're doing the right things. There's no question in my mind. We're doing the things that win with the right people in the building. I think we got an unbelievable coaching staff, and we just got to find a way to push through. And so that's what kind of been our charge all week. We've got a great football team coming in here Saturday in Southern Miss. You know, they're a 4-3 record. 2 of their losses are to SEC teams. One of them is the #1 team in America. And they are a skilled group. I look at them from a defensive perspective, and they are big up front. They've got some linebackers that run around and some fast secondary guys as well. And their defensive structures like Star Wars, they are blitzing from everywhere. Offensively, they've got great skill. They got receivers that can roll and a quarterback that's doing a good job distributing the ball, leading Conference USA right now in total offense. And then their return game, they've got some guys with elite speed that can really, really roll. They've got 3 or 4 touchdown returns on the year. So it's going to be a heck of a challenge. I got a ton of respect for Jay Hobson as a defensive coach and as a head coach. I think the way he's got those guys playing right now is really, really good. So we're expecting their best. We're expecting them to come in here and expecting to have a heck of a football game at high noon on Saturday. With that, I'll open it up for any questions. Yeah, think, if I'm not mistaken, we're still leading the nation in least penalties. So, I mean, the discipline's still there. These guys are doing their assignment. They're where they're supposed to be, playing in the way it's supposed to be. The turnovers is a whole other issue. We've had 9 turnovers in 3 games after having virtually none in the first part of the season. So it's definitely a problem. It's something we stress every day. Matter of fact, in my pregame speech on Saturday, I told the team, I wanted the defensive guys to hear it as well. Like, anytime you have the ball in your hands, you have the hopes and dreams of everybody on this team in your hands. And you have to take care of it. You have to protect it. And very simply, if you're not going to protect it, we can't play you. If we can't trust you to possess the ball and to end the play with the ball, we can't play you. And so that's unfortunately where we're at right now. We've got some people that still need to have a little more growth. And again, with some of those cases, it's not from lack of want to. It's not from even lack of prep. It's from making a mistake. Yeah, again, it's unfortunate. It's Wiley prepares so well, and for whatever reason, obviously we lost 2 snaps, and then the first play of the third quarter was just a very critical error. And quarterbacks, like head coaches, get too much credit and too much blame. And very simply, that's what's going on right now. It's not because we're not winning games that we're saying it's Wiley's fault or anything like that. It's just the fact that the ball went to the other team 3 times when he had it the other night. And very simply, that's why we're making the change. Tom will be our starting quarterback going forward. And, again, nobody's kicking Wiley to the curb or anything like that. But we believe Tom gives us our best chance to win games right now, and because of the way he's protecting the football. I don't have a plan for either of those guys to be the quarterback of the football team. We could see a scenario where Giovanni comes in to games again. Obviously, a great start to his college football career to break off that run. During the bye week, he threw it exceptionally well, threw the deep ball exceptionally well. So we have a lot of trust in Giovanni. We'll just see how it plays, but we'll likely have a role for Giovanni as we go forward, but keeping an eye on that red shirt as well, like you mentioned. Well, the first half, it's hard to say it was a rough start, right? We take the opening drive down and score, I think, for the 3rd consecutive game. The guys were really locked in and doing some great things. What I look at we get the ball at the 1-yard line. And, Matt, it's a hard question to answer because you talk about struggles. We didn't struggle to move the ball. Like, we fumbled it twice, like on a center quarterback exchange. That doesn't happen in a Pop Warner game. So, and it doesn't happen all week in practice. And so it's hard for us as coaches, it's hard for me personally to figure out how to remedy something that doesn't occur in practice. We put all the stress and try to make it as game-like as we can, but for some reason, those things occurred. And so, again, I have to find a way to put more stress on this football team to make practice more game-like, so any emotions, any anxiety gets out in practice and not in the course of a game. And I couldn't tell you what happened. But we watch the tape, and the ball gets up, and then it's on the ground, and that's not acceptable. I talk a lot about how these kids, and I think like coaching great kids is one of the great things about being at a place like Rice. And the fact that they will see and take the corrections and continue to work hard and continue to show up, because I think it's so easy nowadays for kids just to mail it in and hit the reset button and wait for next year or for whatever's next. And these kids aren't doing that. And I think that also goes back to these coaches. I think these coaches have been rock solid. They've been the same people every day. They've come in here, they've taught, they've demanded, and they've really stayed in lockstep with me on the process. They've been trying to control the things we can control. Everybody who was part of this program was down after that game on Saturday. But there's no panic, if that makes sense. You could change so many things. You could change your approach. You could come in here and yell and scream, and there's just none of that. It's process-driven, and we're not going to let that game beat us this week. We're going to move on, and we're going to do the things we know win games. There's so many coaches and players on this team. There's players on this team that have won state championships. There's so many people that are accustomed to winning. There's coaches that have won championships at every level. And nobody likes where we are, but we know the only way to get out of it is to work.
What's Abraham do for them different than other quarterbacks you've seen?
You know, he's completing 71% of his balls. And the thing that I mentioned to you last night on the show, JP, is that, you know, he's not throwing bubble screens. That's what you see. Like when somebody has a high percentage completion right now, it's like half their passes are thrown at or near the line of scrimmage, and that's really not the case. He's got fast receivers. They'll throw the ball down the field. And so I think that's really good that he's managing that and completing those passes, those explosive passes, if you will. And he had done a great job protecting the ball until last Saturday. And obviously, I'm sure he'd like to have those 4 throws back that went to the other team.
You mentioned their defensive guys. How do you like how your offensive line matches up against their front seven?
So I love the way our offensive line is progressing, first off. I think they're doing a great job. So I think we're going to match up fine. How will we handle movement as a front unit? What will we do to solve their movement patterns with our pads, with violence? That's going to be what opens up holes. And then from a protection standpoint, they're relentless. We've got to do a great job protecting to let our receivers go and make plays down the field anytime we choose to throw the ball. Aston is doing okay. He has got a lot of soreness through his traps and his neck, and he's kind of day-to-day right now. But he's seemingly a lot better than he was, obviously, Saturday night. All right, thank you all.
Well, to start things off and to recap the UTSA game, I think we're all disappointed from a defensive standpoint. You know, we came in knowing that they like to run the ball and that we had to stop that. And the last drive of the game, they fell back on their identity. They grounded the rock, and we weren't able to stop them. So we're disappointed from that standpoint. We did a lot of good things, but you know, we get to say that every week. And as Coach Bloom says, it's a zero-sum game. You know, you can't just count the good things and try to ignore the bad. At the end of the day, it's a win or a loss, and that was a loss. But we're all looking forward to Southern Miss. It's actually my first start last year, so it's a team I kind of have some history with. My first interception. I think it was their quarterback's first start last year too, actually. So hopefully we both remember each other, and hopefully I can play some head games there. But Coach Bloom touched on it. He's very efficient, completes a lot of balls. They have elite speed in the return game, and that translates into their offense as well. And we just got to make sure that we keep things in front of us, we make them drive, and we make them earn everything.
Coach kind of talked about resisting the urge to reset and comfortably head next year. Do your goals recalibrate that all as defensive team?
Well, I think in terms of goals, you know, you have to recalibrate a little bit because you come out with the goal of obviously to win conference, to make a bowl game. And when things like that start to become out of reach, it's important to recalibrate your goals instead of just kind of becoming goalless. And when you don't start to set new goals for yourself, that's when you find the people that will reset and just think about next season, you know, and just keep those same goals and say, oh, well, we still have the same goals just for next season. So when you get to this point in the season, it really becomes about pride and, you know, loving your brother. And I think that we have a tight team that's very, very close with one another, that is more than capable of going out and winning games to send the seniors off right, for no other reason than just that. We still have personal goals to be the best team we can be, and I think that those two goals that are still very much attainable of sending the seniors off right and being the best team we can be are kind of the foundation for us, and they're the foundation behind every other goal we want to achieve, and we can still go and get those.
Did you guys, or have you had a chance to actually talk about, maybe not, did you guys kind of set some new goals defensively as a defense? And I know you don't want to set yourself apart from the offense, but defense always wants to play well. Did you guys set some new goals maybe after the last game?
Well, I think something we're putting more of an emphasis on is finishing games, for sure. We've had a few games now where Coach Bloom, like you mentioned, where we've had the lead in the fourth, and we've had the lead or been tied, and it's really been up to the defense to kind of just bow their neck and secure the game, and we've let the offense down in those scenarios, and that's not who we want to be. We don't want to be an okay defense that gives us a chance to win and that plays well for most of the game. We want to have a very strong defensive identity that Coach Bloom can feel comfortable at any point in the game when he secures the lead that the game's in our grasp. It's definitely encouraging, but more than encouraging, I'd say it's rewarding because those guys, Naeem and Garrett, Garrett obviously being a fellow linebacker and Naeem being my roommate are two guys that I'm really close with that I've had complete faith throughout the entire season. Garrett Grammer is a guy that I know can play, and when you watch on film that play that he made, it's almost like he had a psychic premonition that it was coming because everybody else is running the other way, and this guy is triggering downhill, ready to make a play that could have potentially changed the game. So I want to say it's encouraging because that would imply that maybe I didn't have faith in my teammates to make those plays, but it's very rewarding to see these guys who have put the work in and who deserve to make those plays start to have them pan out.
Added to the Nagurski list last week. Now you're about the team, but did that kind of make you think anything different?
Honestly, it didn't. Just being a guy who went the JUCO route, who came to Rice, didn't immediately start, had to work his way up through the rotation and kind of start towards the later half of the season. I've always known the type of player I am, and while at times I've been frustrated that I haven't been able to show it, not necessarily with outside forces, mostly with myself. I always knew that was the type of capability I had. And if anything, I was just shocked that I got added because I don't feel like I'm anywhere near my ceiling yet. So I felt like it was a little early for me to see that type of recognition because I have so much more to give and that I plan to.
Anything else? Thank you, ladies.
Good afternoon. Good to see y'all. JP, nice to see you again. I know. But I just want to start out by saying this weekend, definitely have to put that on the offense. Coach Mack always says the way to win college football games is to hit explosive plays, not turn the ball over, and finish in the fourth quarter. And having 9 turnovers in the last 3 games, it's hard to win college football games like that. But the crazy thing is that in these games, we still have a chance to win in the fourth quarter because of how well our defense is playing and how well Blaze is leading our defense. So still bottom line is we have to figure out how to finish in the fourth quarter. And that's just our full focus this week is taking care of the football and finishing in the fourth quarter because our defense is playing so well and giving us the opportunity to win these games. We just have to come out and finish at the end of the game with the ball in the end zone. Any questions?
You mentioned explosive plays. I think coming into this week, y'all were averaging 2.5 to 3 plays of 20 yards or more on offense, and y'all had 7 of 19 yards or longer, and one big play to Rosner called back. Do you kind of sense a shift there where you're able to unlock more big plays downfield?
Absolutely. I mean, if you watch the game, Bradley is playing incredibly well. I mean, he's super fun to watch, and just the way, like the catches he's been making has been crazy. But he makes them all the time in practice. It's just his tall, big frame can come down with the football. It's helped our offense so much. It flips the field. It gives that deep threat to get some guys out of the box to open up the run game. So just the fact that we've been able to throw the ball down the field has helped us so much, and he's been such a big part of that and such a great addition to our offense.
Can you talk a little bit more about Bradley? How has he maybe changed your game? What do you like about his preparation process?
Bradley, he's a funny dude. He definitely brings some life into our receiver room, and he's always got a smile on his face, always just a pleasure to be around. So I think just his positivity and just practicing him throughout the week, just kind of it brings guys up, and just knowing the fact that he can make those plays at any time gives confidence in our offense and gives confidence in our coaches.
You mentioned how happy and smiling Brad usually is. I think probably after the UTSA game, one of the few times I can remember seeing a frown on his face. That was a pretty tough loss for everybody. How have you kind of found the resolve, and how do you continue pushing in those hard circumstances?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, it's hard losing a game like that, and it takes a lot of mental toughness to come back from that and to keep pushing and keep fighting. But at the end of the day, like, we're doing this for every guy on our team and doing it for all the seniors that have 5 games left. And I think our guys understand that, and we want to finish the season doing everything the right way, giving everything we have to win games, because that's why we're here. That's why we're playing college football. That's why we came to Rice University, because we want to win games. And so that's our full focus this week, and that's what's kind of motivating guys and keeping us going is just we have 5 opportunities to get 5 wins, and to let these seniors leave with some success under their belt.
Since it looks like it will be Tom, what has he done well? When he's feeling good, and kind of rapport y'all have?
Yeah, Tom, I mean, he's just kind of consistently been playing well this whole season. Either backup, starter, coming in for specific plays, whatever it is, he's just kind of done his role, hasn't complained, and just has worked hard the whole time. And he's ready to take the reins and hopefully help us win some games.
What have you, Austin, what have you guys talked about? You're one of the leaders on the team. You guys thought of something new. I know you talked about your focus, but is there something specific, even more than that, that you feel you can do to help you get it done?
Yeah. For us, offensive side of the ball, it's keeping the ball, not turning it over, and finishing the fourth quarter, like I said. That's kind of like our main focus right now on the offense. But overall, I think our main focus is we're just trying to figure out how to win. Because I know once we figure it out, it's going to be so contagious, so just inspiring to our team that it's going to keep going. And I think we just have to figure out a way to win at the end of the day. And that's what's going to change our program around, and that's what's going to pick up our teammates and our culture the rest of this year.
Anything else? Thanks, everybody.
Thank you all.